Hey everybody, Kyle Goth here from GoatFromReviews.com and the Goat From Reviews YouTube channel, and I've got my quick thoughts, first reaction to the new Michael Mann film Ferrari, which opens, I believe, on Christmas Day. I was able to catch. I've been a fan of Neon's work as a company for a while, and they included me on their list of accredited critics to send a lot of their movies to this year. So I was able to catch a lot of Neon stuff. I've been watching a lot of the ones I've missed and even rewatching the ones I'd seen before. And Ferrari was definitely one I was looking forward to. I'm a big Michael Mann of the 80s and 90s. As far as it goes, like, I love, if you follow me for any amount of time, you know how much I love Miami Vice. I also love Manhunter, Heat. There's a number of films that he's done that I really, really dig. But I haven't been, like, really into a lot of his other films in recent decades. And Ferrari just felt to me like, okay, that seems to tick all my boxes. I like Adam Driver. I like racing movies, even though I don't really give a crap about cars. And if you're looking for, by the way, if you're looking for a full breakdown of this film, you can check the Kyle and Nick on Film YouTube channel. We've got a review coming up a couple days before release on that film, probably be about the time this posts as well. So, but in general, I was disappointed. And the thing is, I think the film it's okay. I think when it's working, it's really working. It just isn't working all that often. I'm a big Adam Driver fan. I don't really think the script gives him anything to do. This script was actually written so long ago, because this film's been in Mann's mind since the 90s. I think he talked about it after doing Last of the Mohicans. So he had done that, and he'd been excited about this film project, but like, this script has been done for so long that, no joke, the screenwriter for this script has passed away, like, in the years since writing it. So this film has been languishing for a while, and I feel like it feels like one of those mid-2000s biopics, mid-90s biopics. It doesn't have a lot of style to it, the screenplay, and it doesn't give Adam Driver much to do, which is really disappointing, because Adam Driver can do a lot with not a lot. And there's less than that here. So I think Penelope Cruz is great for, again, what she's given to do. I think a lot of the actors in the film do the most they can with what they're given. But just, I don't feel like this movie gives people anything to do. It's about 2 hours and 20 minutes long. I think the racing scenes look great. Michael Mann is able to capture that action set of that, and he doesn't do it with, like, overly flashiness, but it's just like positioning the camera in the right place to capture the moments. The film ends in a very shocking and interesting way, equally both. I just don't feel like there's enough happening in the first hour and 45 minutes to make that last, like, chunk of film salvageable. And then they don't really take that anywhere. They kind of they end with this big moment in Ferrari's life. And if you know Ferrari's life, you probably know the moment I'm talking about, but they end with this big moment, and then literally, like, the denouement is just, like, wrapped up as quickly as possible and done with title cards, when, like, that's the crux of the movie. I feel like playing with time a little bit more might have been more interesting. Jumping back and forth, like, kind of using the crux of that event as your beginning and ending of your film, and having everything else jump around in time between that, just to give us more to go on. Because I feel like this film picks up later in Ferrari's life, and I don't think that he's that interesting of a character, the way that he's written and the way that he's characterized in the film. Just didn't really work for me. But again, the racing stuff was really good, and I think, like, there was a lot of, like, little standouts. Like, I liked what Patrick Dempsey was bringing to the table there. I liked a lot of the little performers that we'd recognized in the past that kind of add some meat to the film. It just doesn't have enough of it. And again, it's 2 hours and 20 minutes. This film just languishes in it just moves at a snail's pace. And I think, like, this isn't a case of slow burn. This is a case of you have a racing movie that feels slow. And again, the film is not specifically about racing. It's about the guy's life. But the guy loved racing. So, like, racing is such an integral part that when the movie just snails paces it across the finish line, it's agonizing, because there's interesting things happening, but they're not done in an interesting way. This, again, I had this with, what was that movie with Will Smith where he was fighting a younger version of himself? Something Man, a Gemini Man. That was the same thing. That script had been written years ago, and you could tell it had been written years ago. It had been written, but maybe perhaps before the things that it was doing became commonplace. But looking at it now, years later, it's kind of like when you watch a movie for the first time that influenced a bunch of other movies you've seen. and you kind of somehow feel like, okay, I've seen that before, even though it was the first thing to do it. That's kind of what this one did, except they had the opportunity to go into the screenplay and punch it up a little bit, and I don't think they did that much. So unfortunately, this movie I thought was okay, but not good enough to recommend, not good enough for me to want to revisit it. But it was fine, and I think an interesting character like Enzo Ferrari, or someone who I would assume to have a more interesting life than this, deserves a little bit better for his biopic, because it was kind of a bit lackluster. So I was disappointed in the movie. I thought it was okay, but I was hoping for so much. Let me know what you thought about Ferrari once you've seen it again. I believe the film opens on Christmas Day, so let me know what you thought about it down below in the comment section. And while you're there, please like and subscribe. There are 2 free things you can do that help support the channel immensely, and you never miss new episodes of the show as they drop. You can also find goatfilmreviews.com for my many written reviews. You can find Goat Film Reviews on Facebook. You can also follow me at Almighty Goatman on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, and Threads. I almost said X. Ugh, X is gross. Twitter. It will always be Twitter. You can find me on Threads as well. You can also check out my show, Kyle and Nick on Film, that I co-host with Nick Plotchuk from the St. Paul Filmcast. We have new episodes of that show every single week. You can check out all the things I just talked about down in the description, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.